Well, a somewhat shocking new development is in as the Major League Baseball owners have made their offer to the players' union. And let me tell you something, somebody's not happy out there, and it would be the union. Well, my name is John Tedora. I'm the sports trader, and today we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff. I love to get into the finances of sports. I throw some opinion out there every once in a while, but mostly I just deal with hard data and numbers. I love to share it with you guys, and I love when you guys give me your opinion as well. So if you want to leave some comments below, you can always do that. Now let's talk about what's happening here. As a kid, I remember playing baseball as a kid. You know, I loved it. I couldn't wait to go outside and play baseball with my friends. And then one day I realized, oh my goodness, people who play baseball actually get paid. This is a job. It's shocking that people are allowed to play this game and get paid. So I wanted to do the same thing. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't gifted enough to do so. You know, and what's really unfortunate for most of us is that there's only a very, 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 very tiny percentage of people that actually are gifted enough to get paid to play baseball. And the ones that do, and the ones that are really, really good at it, get paid a ton of money, like dump trucks full of money. This year is going to be a little bit different because as most of you know, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere, there's currently a pandemic circling the globe called the coronavirus. Now, summertime should ease some of this, according to the experts, and I'm hoping that that's going to be true. And if it does, it means we'll be able to get our fix of basketball and a really nice fix of baseball, as the owners have pitched an idea to the union that is 82 games, which is basically half the season. A normal season length is 162 games, so half would be 81. So they've made it a round number. It's going to be 82 games, which is half of the season. The problem is that there are two problems. The first is safety issues that they're going back and forth with. The owners have outlined a bunch of safety issues. The union says they have a problem with a few of them. I'm sure that the owners will succumb to whatever the union wants, as long as the workers feel like they are, and this is in any industry, as long as the workers feel like that they're in a healthy environment and they're not at a bigger risk, people will go to work and feel a lot safer about the fact that they're doing so. The same will be true for baseball players. So I'm sure that whatever they ask for in the union, they're going to get. Now, let's talk about the actual money, because this is really the most important part of what's going on here. And the part that the players are being so vocal about publicly, which I personally think is a bad idea. I have no problem with them negotiating to try to get a better deal for themselves. I think that with 40 million people approximately that are unemployed right now, and a lot of people wondering when or if they're going to be able to go back to work, I think that arguing about money in the public sphere is a really bad idea right now. That is my opinion, and I will stick to that probably forever. That's just how I feel about it. It's going to hurt baseball in the long run if they don't make a deal and it's based strictly off money and it becomes a public battle. Now, the players replied in public because the owners made their proposal public. So the owners are playing a smart game here. They are fighting the right fight. They're getting in front of it. They're putting it out there so that it puts it in the court of the players. You have to reject this financial proposal with everybody in the dire straits that they're in. It's up to you now. Now, this is what the proposal would be. This is based off of what a player would make in a full year, and it's tiered. So you can see the lowest paid player in the Major League Baseball makes $563,000 a year. Not a bad chunk of change. This year, he would only make $262,000. If you make $1 million, you'd make $434,000. $2 million, $730,000. And it goes on and on and on. The biggest pay cuts are really coming from the top down. The guys on the top are just going to take a tremendous beating. If you're making $35 million a year, you're only going to make 7.8. And if you're making $30 million, you're only going to make 6.95. You're making about 20-something percent, 23% of your base pay. That's got to be a real kick in the butt. It really does. You think you're going to make a certain amount of money and you're not going to make it. Imagine if it happened to you where you were making $50,000 a year and your boss came into work one day and said, we're no longer going to pay you $50,000. We're going to pay you $12,000. Well, your life would fall apart. But I think we're talking about different circumstances, obviously, because you having to live on $12,000 a year, which is poverty, is not the same as these guys trying to live on $8 million a year or $7 million a year or 6 or 5 or 4 or 3. Now, this may seem like an unfair deal, and it really kind of is at this point when you look at it. But you have to look at it from a prorated standpoint and look at the updated statistics when you look at it from an 82-game prorated series salary. If you played, the lowest base play would be $285,000 a year. That guy would only make $262,000 a year. So he would take a pay cut, but it wouldn't be nearly as significant, not nearly as significant as the guys on top. Same thing for the next tier and the next tier and the next tier. You know, these guys are taking pay cuts, but it's not as big as the guys on top. The guys on top are still only going to make about 40% of what they were supposed to make. So it is a significant difference for the guys on top. Now, the reality of it is there are more people making $5 million, even that's $7.49 million and down, than there are making $10 million and up in this new proposal, in the prorated proposal. So it puts the players in a situation. There's definitely going to be a class war, because if you're a guy who's making $1 million a year or making $500,000 a year, and that sounds like a lot of money to you, but you think you're making it again this year. So your bills and your lifestyle is set up to make $500,000 a year. And if you say, well, it's only going to be half a year, I can figure out how to live off of $280,000 or $500,000. And I know you're saying that's a lot of money. What do you mean figure out how to live? Well, I've made these amounts of money, and you make this kind of money, you don't get to keep it all, unfortunately. The government takes, 37% of your money. These guys have agents. Some of them have managers, business managers. Someone's going to reach out for a lot of this money, and they're not going to keep nearly all this money. They'll be lucky if they can keep half. So if you thought you were going to make $400,000 this year and you're only going to make $140,000, it's a tremendous difference into what you thought you were making into what these guys are actually going to make. Now, I do have a point for all this, and I'd like to know your opinion. If you guys stumble upon this video and you see the video and you like the video, of course, like it. But if you want to make a comment, I would love to hear what you think about the Major League Baseball proposal. Is it fair to the players? Do the players have a right to complain in public about these numbers? Do they have a right to complain at all? I mean, is $7.8 million really a slap in the face? If you're supposed to make $35 million? I don't know. I don't have that perspective. I make a really decent living, but I don't make that kind of living. I haven't had a year where I brought in $35 million and it's going to get cut down to $8 million. I don't know what that would do to me, but I'd like to know your opinion in the comments below. I'd like to, of course, have you guys subscribe so you can see more of these videos, and I'll look forward to talking to you on the next video as well.